The Cayenne transformed the Porsche brand from a sports car machine to a complete lifestyle proposition. Well, the German automaker is at it again with this. This is the Cayenne Electric. We're going to talk about it. Now, Mike Danger did a very comprehensive and fantastic video when we first took a look at this about the interior, all of the details, the trims, all of that kind of stuff. And he was counting on and hoping to drive this thing, but, and kudos and shout out to his brand new baby Danger, because I, Auntie Lynn, am here in Spain, and we're gonna talk about one thing and one thing only, and that's how this sucker drives. Baby Danger, I owe you $20. So that first generation of Cayenne had all kinds of variants, V8s, turbos. It was definitely no wallflower even in its early days. Of course, now we're talking about an electric. We're talking about, yes, a base model, but also a turbo. And I think we can all figure out from Porsche exactly what that means. Power. On the base model, you're looking at 402 horses with an overboost to 435. When it comes to the turbo, 844 horsepower that boosts to 1,139 horses. That is filthy. And yes, when you put your foot in it, you feel it. That is over 1,000 pound-feet of instant torque. Oh my Lord. I mean, honestly, it's a little scary. I think this is one of those cars that definitely ignites the conversation. How much horsepower is too much horsepower? I know that there are people out there who would say no such thing, but I also know that with that great power comes great responsibility, and I don't know that all the people who buy these are truly responsible, but wow. Yeah, this thing is formidable, and I would have expected absolutely nothing less.
All of that power gets managed on the exterior by a ton of aero, both active and static, in roof spoilers, air curtains, and active aero blades. Only on the turbo, though.
The turbo gets a 0 to 60 time of 2.4 seconds. That, I don't know that that should be street legal, but here we are. That's used with the launch control. You're looking at a top speed of 162 miles an hour on the turbo, 143 on the base. And boy, with your foot in it, you get there quick. So the 0 to 60 time on the base model is not chintzy either at 4.8 seconds, but I would be remiss if I did not say that there is a vehicle, very unlikely vehicle out there that actually has a quicker time. It's the Subaru Trail Seeker, and yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of crazy to say that a Subaru is that quick off the line. I would love to get those two in a drag race together. In the Cayenne's defense, though, it is over 1,000 pounds heavier, so it has that going for it. Still, that's crazy. That's a really fast Subaru. And incidentally, this is an electric vehicle, but it does come with some kind of auditory embellishments. It has a little bit of like kind of a simulated V8 noise when you get into sport, and especially in Sport Plus mode. It's a nice sound. It's not too artificial. I think it is, it's great. It's not performative, and it's not super overpowering either. So it's nice. It reminds you that you're driving a car that has a lot of power in it, so it gives you that auditory boost, but it's not overwhelming. So yes, of course, you're expecting that you are going to get crazy power with your electric Porsche, but I think you're also expecting that you are going to get some pretty good performance too, and you do. Regardless of whether you get the base model or the turbo, it comes with an air suspension, and that means that you get adaptive dampers. So you do feel a very big difference when you're going into your different drive modes. In comfort, it's just that. It feels a little bit more floaty. It feels very relaxed. It's great for an everyday driving experience. The steering lightens up a little bit. I would not keep it in comfort mode for driving around twisty turns like I am driving right now in the mountains of Spain above Barcelona, because the steering is a bit too light and then requires a lot of corrections. But when you get into Sport and Sport Plus, you can definitely feel the suspension firming up a little bit. The steering gets a little heavier, so precision is a lot easier. When you are in Sport and Sport Plus, the ride height lowers, so you are maximizing the drag coefficient and getting as much of that power onto the ground as possible. There is also optional rear wheel steering on the turbo. It's 5 degrees, not completely dramatic, and it does assist with turning, but it doesn't make it feel like it's doing a whole lot of the work for you. You definitely are still getting a very interactive experience as you're driving this car.
Porsche provides the Cayenne Electric with regenerative braking, but it's not a setting that the driver can control. You do that through drive modes. There's nothing close to a one-pedal driving experience, and that is deliberate. Porsche doesn't think it's a very Porsche attribute. I honestly can't see that many customers disagreeing with them. The brakes, though, feel very natural, feel very substantive, and have the ability to very confidently stop all that power, which is not something I can say for a lot of other very heavy, very powerful SUVs that are EVs. So kudos to Porsche here for getting that mix right.
So you're also getting things like the torque vectoring system, Porsche's stability management system. You do also have the option of Active Ride from Porsche, which is a hydraulic system. Gets rid of sway bars, you don't need those. I mean, it really is for stability and balance. Nothing really can unsettle this car, and it's so effective here. I mean, it mitigates all like body roll pretty effectively and almost completely. It's really pretty remarkable. I mean, for a vehicle that weighs this much, it's still incredibly nimble and really fun to drive. Oh my God. I mean, it kind of makes you feel like you're bulletproof.
This really does feel like a complete package, and let's face it, with that kind of power, it absolutely has to be. But this is still an EV, and there is the matter of all of that EV business. It's actually pretty impressive business, too. The Cayenne Electric has an 800-volt charging architecture that allows for charging up to 400 kilowatts. What that means for you? 10 to 80% of its full range in 16 minutes at a fast charging station with that kind of capacity.
When you do eventually stop having so much fun out here on the twisty turny roads, they do offer induction charging, which is a pad that you can drive your car over, and it's almost like wireless charging for your iPhone. It is 11 kilowatts, and so easily you could get a full charge overnight. Is that the future? Is it too hard to plug stuff in these days? I don't know. It just makes it even more easy. You don't even have to think about it. You pull into your garage, done.
Porsche's battery architecture includes a sophisticated cooling system for thermal management with fluid developed with Mobil 1, and cooling happens both from above and below the cells. Those can be changed out when necessary, even though it's integrated into the construction of the car. It's a solid package with a low center of gravity, which only helps to reinforce those amazing driving chops.
Aside from the driving dynamics, I do want to talk just for a second about how it is to interact with all of these screens while you are driving. I was a little skeptical of this bent or curved screen here. You've got your sort of wrist pad here, and you can kind of scroll up and down on this screen. I thought the bend in it would be really awkward, but actually it's not. I think it's really terrific, and it's very smooth. It's pretty cool looking, and I kind of like it. It's also much easier to sort of deal with the controls that are down here. You don't need to hold it straight up, so it's much more convenient, especially for someone like me who has very short arms. As for how the rest of this all works and looks, I'm not a huge fan of continuous all-screen situations, but I'll take it. The gauge cluster is curved, so it's very easy to see. Listen, I'm a traditionalist. I do prefer more buttons and knobs, but the ones that Porsche has put in here are metal. They feel good. They're nice and tactile, and they have a clicking feeling to them. They do have some of their haptic buttons, which I don't know if anyone's actually a fan of those. I'm certainly not, but they seem here to stay for the time being. The seats, highly comfortable, very adjustable. Even the rears have power adjustability. You do get heated seats, which are always lovely, but in addition to the seats, you also get armrests and some parts of the door panels that are heated as well. So you're sort of in this like lovely cocoon, and it actually feels really, really nice, especially on a chilly day in the mountains. So lots of luxury in here. Certainly it feels very elegant and fantastic. It's super quiet as well, unless you do turn on your Sport Plus and you get your little V8 action going. But again, it's not overpowering or overwhelming, just enough to remind you what you're driving. And if you didn't think that going 100 miles an hour with your hair on fire on pavement was fun, well, yes, you can still take your Cayenne off-road, which, hey, it's an SUV. Of course you should. So that rear wheel steering really does help around turns. Got some heavy mud here, handled. Right now we are in off-road 2 mode, or Sondergelände. Did I say that right? Well enough. Max ground clearance 9.6 inches, which, guys, is pretty impressive. Oh, but I can't go faster than 40 kilometers. And does my camera shut off?
It only does when you go above.
When you go above, okay. So
parking.
It likes slow speeds. So the active ride, when applied off-road, it really does keep everything as stable and steady as possible, making sure that you're not disrupting the car all that much or unsettling it. And it has such a nice effect when you're off-road, making everything so comfortable. I mean, and obviously you've got, this is the turbo, you've got, over 1,000 pound-feet of torque. So getting up hills like this is so easy. It's almost funny. But yeah, I mean, come on, let's take it off-roading and camping. And if you are feeling a little bit adventurous outside of your off-roading experience, well, the Cayenne can tow around 7,700 pounds, which is a lot. I don't know what that does to your range, but we're not testing it now. Of course, the Cayenne still exists as a gas-powered model. You can also get it as a hybrid, and we were told, or should I say reassured from Porsche, that they will be making those variants for, quote, decades to come. There you go, if you're more of a traditionalist.
Pricing on the Cayenne Electric starts at $111,350, with the turbo model starting at $165,350. Those prices include destination fees.
I'm having so much fun driving that I'm just going to close this thing out here from the driver's seat. I was really curious when I got this invitation, who's going to buy this car? And I think after being in it for several hours, I can very safely say that it's going to be those Porsche loyalists who get very, very excited about having the latest thing. They definitely need an SUV in the portfolio, but the thing that's really going to grab these folks is the fact that this is, according to Porsche, the fastest production model that they make. That is going to open a lot of wallets, and I mean, what else can you say? The Cayenne Electric, it packs a massive punch, and I would 100% expect nothing else from the original OG Porsche Rainmaker.